So, good day. Before I'll show you my 2-hour visit travel diary about Lucerne, because we were there for only 2 hours, I will be doing a sit-down vlog about our itinerary in Switzerland, particularly in the Jungfrau region. So we spent there 4 days and 3 nights with Ate Merlin. So we're gonna talk about the fares, the transportation fares, the food, what we did for the past 4 days and 3 nights, our stay there, the weather, the best time to go there, and just about everything what we did there. So have patience. It will be a long sit-down vlog. So first, the language. So Switzerland speaks 3 languages, but I think all of us knew that it is mostly Swiss German, but the part of Switzerland which is the Jungfrau region where we went, they speak German. But this Swiss German I wasn't able to understand. I was able to understand only 5% or 10% whenever I hear them speak with each other. So we spoke their English because the people there can speak English. Actually, they speak better than I do, better than the people here in Germany, because they're very nationalistic. They love their language. So you will have no problems, because Switzerland, the places we went to were also tourist destinations, so it is expected from them to also speak the language, English language. But manchmal, so sometimes I get to mix my German and English. I don't know why. Sometimes I find the German words better nowadays because it's already part of my daily life. I used it at work and even outside, so I apologize. Sometimes I forgot the English words of some German words. So yes, and so yeah, so the language, it's okay if you speak English. The people there can speak really good English. Second, the people. So I'm from Germany. I'm living here in Germany. So you might get shocked when you leave here and then you get there, and then they are also Europeans, but they are accommodating and friendly, and they will help you if you're lost, because sometimes it's better to ask the locals than depending on your maps or depending on Google. So there were actually old people who even approached us and told us what were good there, what you should do and what should not. And these old people can actually speak English, and because not all old people here can do so. So yeah, and they're very friendly, so you will have no problems. And with the expenses, the most important thing. So I think we all know that Switzerland is one of the most expensive countries in the world. Yes, you're right. So with the fare from Heidelberg, Germany to there, it's not that quite expensive. I find it okay. It's even billiger, cheaper than the prices or the travel trains from here to Belgium to my family. So I think it's because the distance is not that quite long. So if I came from Heidelberg to the borders of Switzerland, which is the city which is near to us is Basel. So it would just take me about an hour, more than an hour, and then I'm already in Basel. And then from here to Lauterbrunnen, it was just 5 hours. So almost 5 hours, I think. Yeah. So that's it. And with you should download the SBB app, but there are actually plenty offers, promo offers in Switzerland, like half fare card and other tourist cards that you can avail of. But I don't highly recommend it if you will just go there for like a few days and never gonna come back in the whole year, or if you want to go to Switzerland every now and then within a whole year, you can avail their card. I forgot. We didn't avail of it because I compared the prices. When I did my itinerary, I actually searched the prices from point A to point B, point B to point C, and I made sure that the distances are from these cities or towns that we went into is just near, that we will not waste our time, and the money, we will be saving more money, so spending less. So that's why the first day we were in Lauterbrunnen, second day is in Jungfraujoch and Interlaken. Third day is also Interlaken and cruising around one of the famous lakes there. And fourth day we were in Lucerne. So with this app, SBB app, you can actually compare the prices. So don't be deceived by the price that states under the app, because that is the price that is already the half day half fare card. So you have to click that to see the regular price. So yeah, so what I can recommend is that if you are pretty sure about your itinerary, where you want to go, not only the city but also the tourist spot or the destination within that city that you have to travel with a bus or with a train or what, you really have to search for the prices and then compare it with a price if you buy the half fare card, because with the half fare card you will pay a particular amount, and then with this card you will have discounts and sometimes free fares or maybe discounts from destinations or trips. Yeah, but if you're just there like what we did, we were just there for like 4 days and 3 nights, I don't highly recommend. It's very costly. So what we did is with the transportation, yes, and with the transportation it usually travels every 30 minutes or like every hour. So that's why I find the train very punctual, because in Germany sometimes you will expect delays with trains. You will expect also technical problems. It's because the trains here travel plenty times in a day, and in Heidelberg in Switzerland, I find it like every 30 minutes is to travel. And I don't know, I'm not quite sure about these things, but what I've noticed is that their trains are really clean, organized, they don't have delays, they don't have technical problems. As we traveled within the Jungfrau region, yeah, and it may not be the most modern, most extravagant one, but you could avail if you want a extravagant travel. You could do the business. I think so. They have first class, yeah, and business class. They say you should definitely try it, but with a budget trip, since I'm traveling also to Italy and then and to my parents in Belgium, so I was really budgeting my money that I could do the great things and maybe spend less. So that's why I just did the economy or the second class. But you will definitely reach your destination. That's the most important thing. And so yes, it was very clean. The restrooms are so clean and it doesn't stink. The train doesn't stink at all. So some trains here in Germany, especially when you're in big cities like Berlin, you will smell like piss or like just everything that stinks. So yeah, and Switzerland, yeah, that's the transportation. They have buses, they have ferries when you are traveling across the lakes or villages. They have, yeah, but compared to Germany, there are more transportation vehicles here. Everything is anywhere else is very reachable or accessible because there are a lot of transportation system here. And yeah, next is the weather. So we actually went there few days before the beginning of fall season. So we actually heard that the best season to travel to Switzerland is late spring or early summer, and late summer or early fall, because the weather or the temperature is very English pleasing, and it's, you'll not sweat, you can do OOTDs, and there are not lots of people, and the prices of the hotels, that's not the peak season, so everything's good. So that's why we're very thankful. I thought before we left, actually the week before we left for Switzerland, in the weather forecast, it shows there that there will be thunderstorms, showers, and even it will be really a bad day. So we just hoped and prayed and did the superstitious belief in the Philippines that we caught the clouds and did the takla with the clouds, so that the sun will come out and the gloomy weather will be gone. And it actually worked. Yeah, so on our stay there, it just rained on the third night when we were already at home. So everything was perfect, guys. Everything was perfect. the temperature was also very, very good. We didn't have to wear that because I thought it will be really cold in Switzerland, but it wasn't. It wasn't. So that's it. The temperature, yeah, and because if you're planning, what we did is not more on the sport or the outdoor activities. If you're aiming for an exciting or adventurous one, you should try out with plenty people like friends with you or maybe family. You should try out Grindelwald because the outdoor experience there is perfect um for a what you call that, for a get together with friends and family. And so yeah, that's the temperature and the weather. Okay, so before you get there, you need to do the weather forecast, but the weather forecast is actually not really exact, but at least you're prepared. Bring always something to pack you up whenever the rain starts to umbrellas, or maybe when the wind is strong, because sometimes even if the weather is with even if it's sunny but the wind is so cold or strong, then you need to really buckle up so that you will have no colds or cough later on. So that's why. Next will be food. So the food here, Swiss food, is actually I'm not excited about it because the Swiss food and German food is quite alike, but the food in Switzerland, I think it has more taste. Because to be honest, here in Germany, if it is not too salty, it is not too sweet, so it's just like bland. Compared to, of course, French food, Italian food. My God, but I know Germans knew that their food is not really that on top of the list. So that is what my other German um, acquaintances have said. So they knew. Okay, so the cheese there is really good. You should try also their schnitzel and hot chocolate. Yes, because Lin Toblerone, were actually the milk were actually made from there. So from there, I mean. So you should try also their food. Um, what else? The people, I've already mentioned it. So what we did. So the first day we were in Lauterbrunnen. Make sure you visit the Staubach Falls. You just don't take a picture of the falls itself, go up. And if you're lucky enough, when the falls or the water pouring down is so strong, you can actually do that with the water, because you can actually climb the stairs up behind the falls. But during our time, the falls was not that strong. But be careful because you have I mean, the stairs are so wet and so slidey, so you need to wear proper footwear. It doesn't, the climb is not actually that long, maybe around 10 to 15 minutes. It depends on your speed. Yeah, so you should be careful when going up. And of course, we took pictures of the cemetery. It's their Friedhof, and it was so beautiful, guys. The flowers. It was my first time to see a cemetery that beautiful. I mean, who wouldn't want to be buried in that place? Like, there's a falls pouring down. The place was so you can hear the sound of the cows, the bells of the cows. You can hear the birds. You're just one with nature. The place is so beautiful. And Lauterbrunnen is a small village or a small town, so you could just spend there like a day. And then one tip also, when you go in Switzerland, we actually brought our own breakfast, like what I've said in my travel vlog. I think it was our trip to Jungfraujoch, or my second travel vlog in Switzerland, that we brought our breakfast from Germany. Since Germany is quite near, we bought groceries just for breakfast, because we know that we'll be eating outside for lunch and dinner, because the stores will be actually opened around 9 or 10. So we woke up like 5:30 or 6, and we're already that hungry, and we want to start the day really right and really early, so we have to take our breakfast early so that we can start our adventure early. Yeah, and we know we're girls and we want to prepare very early, like makeup, outfit, and the hair. So it will take a while. So that's why we brought our breakfast. Like, it could just be, we boiled eggs. We brought our own jam, butter, um, what else? Fruits like apple and sandwiches. Yeah, and some cookies that we could take on take on while we're traveling, because who knows, you get hungry all the time, and when it's cold you crave more. So good thing we were too wise, because I usually have seen that in a lot of vlogs also, that they brought their own breakfast as well, that you can also save money. So because food there is actually very expensive. Wait, let me sip on my milk tea. I actually made my own milk tea, and I bought this tapioca pearls, brown sugar tapioca. It's very yummy. Yeah, so that's it. And when we went to Jungfrau Joch, actually the ticket that I booked for Jungfrau, I've seen on blogs that, and on vlogs that, before Corona happened, they actually book tickets ahead of time, because there are a lot of tourists and the line is so long that it's hard for you to take on the early trips going to Jungfrau. So nevertheless, I still booked online with Get Your Guide app. It's in English, but I think it's in a German company, because I'm not sure, but it's in English. It's a voucher, and you can exchange it. You can exchange that into a ticket at the cashier in the train station. And yeah, with the money we can pay cash, you can use your euros. You can also, if you have Swiss francs, you can also you can definitely use that. But if you only have euros, you can use that, but they will exchange you as your change in Swiss francs. So at most times when I was there, I used my MasterCard, and then you can just choose whether it's francs or euros. So that's it. But as soon as I changed my voucher, I thought that this ticket was only for the train, like back and forth, but that includes all the tours there. But I'm not pretty sure with the Ice Palace and the Snow Experience. I'm not sure, because we weren't able to do that activity since we were catching up a train to Interlaken, because the train ride from Jungfrau to Lauterbrunnen is more than an hour, and also from Lauterbrunnen to Interlaken for our next city was also an hour, more than an hour. So we were catching up the train, so we weren't able to do that after the lunch. And then yeah, so we got our ticket. We also had a souvenir, a passport for Jungfrau Joch, and then we rode this yellow train, green train going up, and you will pass by Kleine Schneider, and you will transfer train to a red big train going up. I wasn't able to do this famous picture that you will go to the other side of the benches so that you can take picture and then open the windows. What I can highly suggest is that you open the windows and then take a photo, and without the you can actually do that. Sit on the right side of the train, not on the left, because the better views are on the right. But I wasn't able to do that because someone's sitting there in front of us. I cannot say, excuse me, can I take a picture here, and then my friend will take a picture on the other side. That's just disrespectful. And there were plenty people on that train, so I wasn't able to do that. But nevertheless, it's fine. It's the beauty of that. It's just so beautiful. Like, I couldn't fathom. I could not fathom the. It's just, I'm speechless, guys. Every time I can reminisce that experience I had, I think I'm gonna cry. Joke. Pero like, it's just so beautiful. And then we transferred trains in Kleine Schneider and going up, and it was stop over a stop before the Jungfrau. You must go out, because we didn't know that the view there was actually also beautiful. And then there was a man, he hardly speaks English, and he told us, because I want to pee, and then he told us, picture, picture. He just said that, and I think he knew that we were into pictures, because we were using our camera, or my GoPro and this, and my phone, and we're just into pictures. We're taking plenty of pictures there. So I said, picture, picture. So I was in a hurry because I want to pee, and when I went there before the restroom or the toilet, I saw this amazing view of glaciers. I said, and I was trying to call I was trying to call Ate Marlene in the train, but she was too far because she wanted to stay there. And then, egal, I just took a picture, and then she was already there. And she also saw it. So it was just like a 5-minute pause there for the pictures, and you can pee, and then directly to Jungfrau. So after we reached there, it was a big observatory, Sphinx Observatory. You can actually eat there. Also in Kleine Schneider, you can you can see the 360 degrees view of the. Actually, there are a lot of families or group of people who just trek their way up there, but not in the Jungfrau, on top of Jungfrau, but on the lower parts of the mountains, so you can actually see people. But at that moment, it was quite cold, and I would love to do the trekking, but maybe in summer, not in a cold, windy season. So maybe I'll do that next year, or maybe next year. I don't know. And you can actually save a lot of money if you do trekking. And then yeah, actually, Jungfrau Joch, the best season to go there if you really want to see everything just white, everything with snow. Maybe in winter, but I think the winds are so strong, and you really have to layer up plenty because I think it will be really that cold. So that's why on some of my pictures, and maybe when you have already seen my video, my travel video about Jungfrau, um, you cannot see everything that is white. There are portions that are just rocks, and so because we're just too early there for the winter wonderland experience. But actually, the Jungfrau Joch is the whole year round. You'll have snow, but more snow during winter, of course. And yeah, and at that point, that is where in Jungfrau where we experienced the Swiss cuisine. So we were so hungry, we went into their restaurant and we ate this at this fine dining restaurant. And then it was quite expensive, of course, because it's a tourist destination. You're on top of Europe, and yeah, so the food there actually costs around 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 euros. But yeah, in euros. In Swiss francs, it's actually the same. You just add up a little. So you really have to save money for the food and the experience. So I highly suggest that you go there early, the earliest possible, the 807. We were not able to um, ride that 807 time because we were so busy preparing for ourselves and for checking out, so that when we come back, because the checkout time is 10 a.m. and we thought we could never reach that time, so we checked out earlier and placed our luggages in the drying room again, locked our doors, and just prepared everything. So it was too late already, so we left 9:37. So I suggest that you go there very early. Yes, and I'm not pretty sure if you have to pay the ice palace, because I've read that you have to pay. Weren't able to do that, like what I've said. And also, my friend was experiencing already headache. She was not feeling that good, so we were also catching the train. So, to Interlaken. That's why. So after the lunch, we head back, and then after that, we directly uh get our luggages from our hostel, and then we ride the next train to Interlaken Ost. So it's the center of all the adventures. If you want to go for Grindelwald, Jungfraujoch, Lauterbrunnen, and that Interlaken Ost, I highly suggest you go there. So when we reached there, it was almost night. It's like a resort city, yeah. And then when we arrived there, we searched for our lodge. So I booked a lodge from booking.com. Also, make sure that you ask the places if the places where you're staying, if all the amenities are available with them, or you have to pay, because sometimes they will state there all the things that are available, like towels and everything. But the thing is, you have to pay for the towels, like 10 cents, 50 cents, €1, I forgot, but you have to pay. So, like your hair dryer, if there's hair dryer, like that. And this lodge, we actually paid for this like 80 CHF or Swiss francs, almost same. But with my, what is actually posted in booking.com, that's not the actual price, because that is only the conversion that they from euros, I mean Swiss francs to euros. So when you arrive there, it depends on that day how much is the change currency. Yeah, so instead of 82 euros, we actually paid 85 euros when we reached there. So the Valley Hostel where we stayed in Lauterbrunnen was also at the same price. So that's it. We stayed in a cabin where we stayed. It was a two bed, so it was very. We thought that it's actually near the restroom, the kitchen, and everything else. But you have to walk like a minute, just a minute outside your cabin. You have to walk and go for the. Just watch my vlog, my travel vlog in Interlaken. Yeah, I find it amazing because I really wanted to try to stay in a lodge or in a camping, or in a camping site, or in a cabin. That was really a refreshing experience, a unique experience. Yeah, and what I loved about that place is the view outside the kitchen. It was the Lake Brienne's port. That was really, really beautiful view from our place. And the kitchen, you can use everything also. You just have to sterilize and return them and clean them afterwards. The kitchen was so big and so clean as well. And the restrooms were not so big, but they have three cabins for showers, and there's another room for the toilet. It's so funny because the first time we thought that shower room is for women. I shared by women and men because there was just this picture. We were not sure if that's a man or just for general. So we were taking a bath in the men's shower room, and then later on, as I went to the kitchen, I found the shower room for women. Good thing there were no men who went inside when we showered with Ate Merlin. So, because with the COVID situation, they only allowed two persons per room. So that's why. So it's fine. And then yeah, so after that, as soon as we arrived, we decided to walk around the Interlock and find some place to get some dinner and maybe go to the central. And then we found plenty Filipinos along the way, nurses and even vendors and sales lady. And yeah, there were plenty of Filipinos there. And we ate dinner at Hooters. It was my first time. Oh, Hooters in Switzerland. I just saw Hooters in US, like in the movie where Adam Sandler was with, who was that? I forgot. Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore. I think that's the I forgot the movie title, but it was a comedy. Yes, The Blended. Yes, I love Adam Sandler's movies. So after that, we took our dinner. We decided not to go to the Iseltwald first. It was getting darker, and the great news, when we checked in our lodge, we got a card, and this card is you get a free train around Interlaken, including in West. So we stayed in East. So and with this card, you will also have discounts with all the tourist destinations that you go to. And I was shocked because it was not stated in the booking.com. It was not part of there. I was really happy because we get to save money. And then later on, we met some few Filipinos, and they said that's not new. All hotels, all hostels, lodging, they offer that. So it was a great thing. We didn't get the half fare card because we saved a lot of money on our transportation, like a lot because of that. And if you weren't able to use that, you can still use that on the next trip that you'll be coming back in Switzerland. But I think there's a validity time, so you have to check it again. Yeah. So the sad thing also is that Harder Klum or Klum is just a few minutes walk from our place. But I think we didn't do that activity anymore because we've been to the top of Europe, and even though we will be getting a discount price for that trip or that experience because of our card, or like, yeah, that card, I said to myself that we'll just come back and will not waste most of our time going on mountains. That mountain we went into was the highlight of everything, like the Jungfrau. But of course, I will go back. I will experience that maybe with new friends or like with my boyfriend or with my family. Experience, and I mean another experience, but at the same time in Switzerland. So since you're already in Interlaken, you really have to do the team paragliding. So it's a very famous activity in Interlaken. But since we spent so much during our 4 days and 3 nights in Switzerland, we chose the Jungfraujoch instead because we are sure that we'll keep coming back for Switzerland, because every spot or every city or village in Switzerland is just so beautiful and will give you a refreshing experience. So I'll definitely come back for paragliding because it will also cost almost 200 euros, like what we spent with Jungfraujoch experience. And then you will also have, when you do that, when you're planning to do the team paragliding, or yeah, the paragliding tandem, I mean not team, tandem paragliding, then you can also do the outdoor activities that Grindelwald can offer. So I'll be surely be coming back. That's one of those countries that I really want to experience everything Switzerland can offer. And then we decided to the next day. So we already packed up, and we already made ourselves at home. We slept already, and the next day we decided to, since the sun was out, I told my friend we go to Iseltwald village, and with a card, I just for to make sure that that card is really valid, I asked even the bus driver, will this card be valid until that point? Well, Iseltwald is the lake, the spot where Crash Landing on You, the captain, Brie played his piano. So yes, he said, yeah, that's already part. That's unlimited ride. Okay, so we went there, and then we met a few Filipinos, and supposedly that spot, there are a lot of people forming a line for that spot. But good thing we're just like two people, two groups, and some Swiss people were like laughing because I think they didn't know about that crash landing on you spot. So we went there, and then we went back for the cruise ship. So there are actually two lakes in Interlaken: the Thun, Thun, which is in the west part, and Brienz, which is where very near or in front of our lodge. So that is Lake Brienz. That is also the tour, or like the Schiff, or Schiff is German for boat. The Schiff that the Yunseri from the crash landing on you road cruised around the Lake Brienz. So we did that. So instead of 54 euros, I think we paid only 49 euros because we had that card. So we had a discounted price. That is a 2-hour cruise. So it's just going 5 villages. The one we rode, that is Jungfrau Schiff, or the Jungfrau boat. So we stopped over like 5 stops or 5 villages. The other ships or the other boats or cruise only stop in 4. But this 5 or this cruises will stop over by Isiltwald. So you can actually ride there and just stop over. Some people use that ferry for transport, but some use it for just relaxation, just see the beauty of the lakes and beauty of the mountains or the Swiss Alps. So that's it. And then there are actually restaurants there. You can actually eat there. But yeah, we wore masks, but during picture takings we removed it just for a quick moment. Yeah, and then it was so relaxing at the same time. It was so beautiful. The waters were so emerald and emerald colors. Yeah, so beautiful. And then because the one in Lake Thun is actually 4 hours, so I won't do that. Maybe next time, but not 4 hours. It's like you're traveling from Dumaguete to Cebu in the Philippines. So no. And then the next day we went back to the hostel, and then that's the day that is our last day in Switzerland. So we decided to go to Interlaken. Actually, that is part of my itinerary to go to, I mean, not Interlaken, in Lucerne, because Lucerne is just an hour away. Actually, I have 3 options: Geneva, Zurich, or Lucerne. I asked my friend if I told her I will choose among these 3 that is nearer to our place, which is Heidelberg, and is nearer to Interlaken, so that we won't be wasting our time from the travel spent during that ride, and with the money, because of course the longer you travel, or the farther the place is, the more expensive it is. So the Geneva was so far, and that time there was high risk infection, and there was high rates of COVID infections, as well as Zurich. It's also very far, like 3 hours from Interlaken, and then Lucerne was just an hour, so, and just 3 hours from our place. So that's why, from Heidelberg, I mean. So that's why I booked Lucerne. So since we prepared also late, and we were also preparing ourselves, so it took us a while. So we arrived there, and we were only able to spend time in Lucerne like 2 hours. So we just went to the famous spots: the bridge, the Brücke, and Kapellenbrücke, denke ich. Yeah, that, and the lion Denkmal. Yes, and we weren't able to go to the old town, because, not to brag, but if you are already in Germany and you've seen a lot of old towns here, I am not that quite excited about old towns also from the other countries. So sometimes when I travel to other countries, I was also doubting with Zurich, because it's a city, so it's a big city, so I will just compare it to like Berlin, like that. So I want to experience another level of excitement, like the one that you spent with nature, like Lauterbrunnen, Interlaken. Yeah, that's why I told my friend that with Lucerne we'll just not expect that much, and just because it's just a city, what you do in cities is just shopping, and we prevented that activity because Switzerland is too expensive. They double the price or like triple the price. Yeah, so that's why. And then we traveled to Basel, and Basel to Mannheim, which is already in Germany, and Mannheim to Heidelberg. So those were the things that I did in Switzerland. I hope that you find my itinerary helpful, and maybe you will use the same thing. So I hope that you find this sit-down vlog also informative. Now I will show you my Lucerne short trip there. So enjoy.
Good morning. Now on
our fourth day here in Lucerne. So we only have 2 hours to roam around the old city of Lucerne and then head back to our places. This is the chapel bridge of Lucerne. Closer to katong kuan kaning dako nga building kana. Yabul. This is actually a famous spot here in Switzerland, Lucerne. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you liked the video and find it very informative. If you want to see photos of my trips around Europe, follow me on my Instagram account, Muijan. And I hope you like the video, so hit like, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more videos. And I'll be seeing you on my next trip to Amalfi Coast, Italy. So be patient, I'm still on the editing process and I'll be bringing you around. So keep safe, God bless you, and stay healthy. Tschüss, Dankeschön.